The Hebridean island of Eigg is only 12 miles by ferry from the Scottish mainland, but it's light years away from the stress and pace of modern living. A population of about 80 people live here in 12 square miles of unsurpassed beauty. It's a place where everyone in the community is known and valued, where there's always a welcome for islanders and visitors alike. Eigg is special. It's not owned by a whimsical laird or uncaring corporation, but by its residents. Following years of insecurity and lack of development, this stone commemorates the moment in 1997 when ownership passed to the community. Secretary to the Island Trust, Maggie Fife, explains.
It was a long, hard struggle. It was on the market at a price of $2 million. We eventually managed to buy it for $1.5 million. And all of that money we raised ourselves through donations from members of the general public. I think we had in total £17,000 from HIE, Highlands and Islands Enterprise, as a grant towards the buyout. So it was really an amazing achievement, I think, for a community of only, at the time there were probably only somewhere in the region of 60 adults here. It was a lot of work, and it's been a lot of work since too. Obviously, getting to the point where we bought the island ourselves was just the beginning.
These few stones bear witness to the fact that Eigg has been populated at least since the Iron Age. This exquisite landscape, now so popular with tourists, conceals a more brutal past of religious intolerance, clan massacres, and people ruthlessly driven from their lands. These days, tourists visit Eigg to experience the wild beauty of nature, tranquility and pure air. But for the people who live here, it's a case of constantly planning for a better future.
It's now 11 years since the buyout. We had a 10-year plan when we first started. A lot of the things in it we have managed to achieve. We've done a whole range of projects. We've renovated a lot of houses. We've done a big forestry project. We've built the new tea room and shop at the pier. But the big one, and it was a project that we had 100% backing from the community for, which was to provide 24-hour reliable electricity supply, and everybody agreed that if we were to sort of develop further as an island, that was really the one essential thing.
Some households had already set precedents for using clean, renewable energy. Galnesdale House has a 1 kilowatt turbine and a small hydro installation generating up to 250 watts of electricity. Solar hot water panels saved money on diesel at Glebe Barn Hostel. But clean, renewable electricity became available to everyone on February the 1st, 2008. Eigg Electric Director John Booth explains the various installations.
The 4 windmills are each 6 kilowatt Proven machines. They were supplied and erected by a company called Energy Renewed, which was engaged as a subcontractor for this purpose.
The wind farm connects to the island grid through inverters and a transformer housed in these boxes. A team of islanders has been trained to maintain this complex equipment. Another source of renewable energy comes from these solar panels, which convert sunlight into electricity.
These are our photovoltaic panels, which have the capacity to supply the island with up to 10 kilowatts of electricity. On a sunny day like this in September, towards the end of the day, they may still be providing half their nominal capacity.
The largest reliable source of energy on the island is water power. The construction of this weir required a temporary road to be built through a nature reserve and nearly a kilometre of pipework to be buried underground. It's an extraordinary achievement for such a small community.
Behind me is the weir for our principal hydro, which has a capacity of 100 kilowatts. As you can see, it's in full spate at the moment. The actual hydro itself, which is a Jilts 100 kilowatt hydro, is housed in a building 100 metres below this level and a kilometre away down the valley of the stream.
The buried pipeline comes down this cliff and terminates in a shed which houses the water turbine. Up to 100 kilowatts of electricity can be generated here. Once the water has given its energy, the stream finally rushes out over the sands of Lag Bay, then out to sea between Eigg and its neighbouring island Rum. So what effect has Eigg Electric had on islanders' lives? The owner of Glebe Barn Hostel, Simon Helliwell, explains what it's meant to his business.
Prior to this we had to have our own generator system, batteries and inverters, and it was very complex for people coming from the mainland to understand how to operate it. And now of course it's just the same as they used to on the mainland. And each business, each household on Eigg is capped at 5 kilowatts, and the business is capped at 10 kilowatts. So people can't use more than they should do. And these little devices here tell the user just what's being used at any one time. So at the moment we're using a third of a kilowatt in the building, so it keeps people aware of just how much electricity they're using at any one time, which I think is something that, if repeated countrywide, would focus a lot of minds and help reduce the total amount of energy used.
The shop on the pier has seen huge improvements since the electrification scheme. Shopkeeper Sue Kirk.
Oh, it's made an amazing difference. It means that we can have fridges and freezers that we know will be able to stay on at all times, but we're completely geared up for everything being electric. Before we moved into this building we didn't have any electricity, so we weren't so reliant on it, but now that we have the tills and the scales and everything is reliant on the electricity, it's very important that we've got a reliable source, and it has been great since it started. It's been one or two little hiccups, but nothing that you could complain about at all. It's fantastic.
Stuart Miller works round the clock, dividing his time between his 28-acre smallholding and fishing for lobsters and crabs in the waters around Eigg. What difference has Eigg Electric made to his family?
Before we had the electricity, it was like living in the dark ages, you know, like constantly listening to generators thumping away in the background. I mean, like you'd be sitting in here just now and all you'd hear is bang, 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 bang with the generators. And since we've had the power, the most noticeable thing on the island is when you walk about, there's no noise anymore. It's made a huge difference. I mean, getting up in the middle of the night to feed babies and, you know, changing nappies in the middle of the night and all that used to all be done by torchlight. Now you just switch the switch and it's just like the mainland, magic. I think that's really the biggest improvement we've had.
It's this little shed a mile from the pier that makes Eigg Electric so special. It was relatively easy for the islanders to harness the wind, sun and water to make electricity. The hard part was to design their own underground grid and distribution system. That's what's so inspirational about this scheme. John Booth explains how it works.
On my right are the inverters that control the flow of power in and out of the batteries. When the renewable system is providing more power than has been consumed on the island, then power flows in and the batteries are charged. When the renewables are providing less than the amount that we need to consume, then the inverters allow power to flow out of the batteries, converting it as they do so into mains AC voltage, which then enters the system through an adjacent transformer.
These 96 batteries can supply the island for 24 hours during quiet spells, and in the event of a power loss there are 2 diesel generators which can provide electricity on a standalone basis. Once the rugged beauty of Eigg has been experienced, it's never forgotten. So too the determination of its people. This community who bought and developed their own island has become an inspiration all over the world. It's been a steep learning curve for all concerned, but the residents of Eigg have vividly demonstrated we can enjoy the benefits of technology with minimal impact on the environment.